Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to the long awaited episode 6 of the S Tier podcast. Here on this beautiful day is your co hosts, me, Jeremiah.
And me, Nick. Once again, bringing you quality content for free.
Absolutely free. We do not charge at the door, or in the case of whatever you'd be listening to, because it definitely is not live, you would probably be listening via laptop, cell phone. We don't
And who
charge you
knows,
to.
maybe eventually it could be live.
Could you imagine a live recording of the S Tier podcast? That's something to think about.
We could get
But
face cams too.
face cams,
Yeah,
maybe on
it could
episode
be like playing
100.
StarCraft. Like in StarCraft, when you select a unit, you can see like the little face in the bottom left.
Uh huh.
Fantastic.
That'd be funny. But not a fake announcement, but on the news of real announcements, I was doing a little bit of finagling, and we have been able to get the first episode of the S Tier podcast uploaded to Spotify. In case you wanted to listen to where it all began again, or wanted to share it with other people as a new listening platform. Hopefully, by the end of the week, all of the episodes will be up to date on there with the audio ready to go. And if you would rather listen to it on Spotify, which is much more convenient than watching a YouTube video often, that will be available hopefully by the end of the week. So, congratulations to figuring out how to put things on Spotify.
Congratulations. Very nice. Very well done.
Indeed, indeed. Well, today's episode, episode 6, uh, we will be placing the Pixar movies into a tier list. I believe they are categorized chronologically in order of release date, and the only ones that we have not seen are the couple most recent ones, Elemental, that as of recording this released like a couple months, maybe 1 month ago, or maybe I'd say about a month ago, or Lightyear. We neither of us have just gotten around to seeing that. So in case you were curious where we would put those, we have not seen those, so it would not be fair of us to judge the movies based off of what we've just heard. We try and be a little unbiased here, except of course in the last video where we may or may not have made up complete lies. But uh, all that to
We.
say,
That was all me.
oh yeah. Yeah, it was just Nick.
But the Chester Cheetah drone striking people was actually true.
I did confirm that after we were done recording it. It was quite terrifying, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
But
It-
enough with the past. Let's focus on what we're doing here.
yes, going down the what did they call it? The road of memory lane. That's what it's called. Going down memory lane, a lot of these earlier Pixar films, or what I know, a lot of the movies I grew up watching, some of them I owned on VHS, in fact. Um,
Oh yeah, VHS was still around when we were youngins.
yeah. Uh, Now, so a lot of these early ones, I'm a little biased towards, obviously, but I do think there's some really good newer ones, honestly. Um,
Some of the new ones are pretty good. I will
some of
definitely
them,
say.
some
But
of
other
them
of
are.
them are notoriously not so.
Yeah, and
But
I
we'll get to talk about that when we get to those movies.
indeed. First up, we have the original Toy Story. Honestly, seeing as it's the first, it is so nostalgic, iconic. The plot makes a lot of sense as an introduction to the characters, and it really brings their little world to life. Honestly, um, when I first saw the movie, I'm sure a lot of kids when they first saw this movie, they started to almost act as if their own toys could do that. So I remember going home after going out to school or something and coming back, and I'd play with my Legos, and then I would like try and open a door real fast and catch them or something. I don't know if you ever did that, but
I might have. It's been a while. Toy Story is an old movie. It's been a while,
it is. It really is. They got,
but
but they,
really, it kind of holds up to today though. It still looks like a great animated film.
yeah. It's not like the most exciting and or compelling story, and I'm not like personally, I don't like enjoy a lot of like the characters. Like to me, it's not as cool, but I know that there's a lot to be said, seeing as especially since it's the first. So there's a lot to be said about that. Honestly, I don't think it deserves anywhere below B tier. I think it's B tier at the lowest.
I'm thinking A tier for it.
I would be 100% okay with putting in A tier. I mean,
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I
I
don't know
I
why, but
agree.
I can't really think of why it's a good movie.
I think it's just all around is good. Like I can't think of something about it that I completely dislike. I think maybe the ending of the movie is a little anticlimactic, but it's not supposed to be some like super intense, like high stakes type of thing. They are
Yeah, I mean the
toys.
characters are like, I think all the characters are pretty dynamic in the way that
Yeah.
their minds definitely do change by the end of the movie toward how they like each other, especially Woody and Buzz.
Oh yeah.
And it's just it's 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 nice to see how the characters like develop over the course of the one movie, and then you can see them develop over the course of the next three as well.
Indeed.
So I would put it at A tier.
I think that is very respectable. Next, we have A Bug's Life. Personally, this is in my easily top 5 Pixar movies. Um, I know we're not making like a distinctive number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, and mine is definitely a lot different from other people's. I've heard a lot of people like say that A Bug's Life is kind of boring because it's just like a very linear movie. But I think that there are some interesting aspects to the movie, especially when the main character Flick gets the circus ants, not circus ants, the circus bugs back to the anthill, and they all think that they're actually warriors. Like the way that there's just a huge miscommunication, and no one understood it until like halfway through. It was pretty funny, but then they all ended up helping anyway to fight against grasshoppers, which is also a really interesting concept too. Thinking about how grasshoppers were able to basically gang up on this colony of ants to like give them tribute every season. Uh, I don't think that's how it works in real life. So there's an interesting dynamic to think of there.
Wow. Okay. Um, I do enjoy Bug's Life. It's good. Got a pretty convincing plot. You know, big bad grasshoppers stealing all the food, but they offer protection, just like in prisons. But
What? What does
it's
this?
a good film.
What does it have to do with prisons?
Oh, you got to pay for protection in prison too. And
Oh,
really, the only protection is from the protectors.
I think I know what you're
But it's kind of
saying.
weird though because grasshoppers grasshoppers are normally like chill. You ever seen a grasshopper just like sitting on like a driveway and you can like poke it and you can like prod it and it just won't do anything? It's just
Yeah,
chill.
and the big
So it's
yellow
kind of weird that
ones,
they made those the antagonists.
especially since ants are normally like 100% self-sufficient. They actually, I've heard people say that ants, if they're all, working together, they can actually take out opponents fairly easily because they all are just like for the better of the colony. Whereas if they're like trying to fight a single grasshopper, obviously in the movie
Yeah,
they're more human like, so they have it, emotions and like, oh no, we're afraid because these guys can mess us up. And also the grasshoppers use that to their advantage, saying things like, well, there's even bigger, badder people than us out there, so you don't want to leave, so you just give us our food and we'll protect you. Like, it's a very interesting concept, but at the same time, understandable. I
yeah.
I
I
just
saw
I
a group of ants. I saw a group of ants pick up Nebraska once.
the state
Yeah, the whole thing.
ants picked it up.
Yeah, they picked it up.
What do you mean?
That's why you can't find it on a map anymore.
Nebraska?
Yeah,
What do you mean you can't find Nebraska on a map?
yeah. Ants took it.
What are you talking about?
Ants, the little bugs.
What do
Six
you
legs,
mean by they
two
took
antennae,
Nebraska?
thorax, abdomen, head. They picked it up and they took it.
Where did they take it? How did what do you mean? Wait, no, no, no.
If we
How
knew
did they
where they
take it?
took it, we would get it back. Okay.
How did they take it?
They picked it up and took it.
What?
Yeah,
Talking
the
about?
state of Nebraska.
Where did this come from? Where are you?
We were talking about ants, weren't we? And how like they do things together. I
No,
saw
what?
them take Nebraska.
This is like random chimp event all over again. What are you talking about? This is not a real thing.
You don't understand. I literally just told you what it was I was talking about. A group of ants picked up Nebraska, the state, and took it.
Where where did you hear about this?
I saw it happen.
You do not live anywhere near Nebraska.
I get around.
No, you're just trying to gaslight me into thinking this is a real thing, like the random chimp event.
The random chimp event is a real thing, and it can occur at any time. That's why I have a shotgun next to me.
Just for our audience listening in, there was a time in high school when um, Nick, among with some other of our classmates, they tried to convince me of this impending event called a random chimp
World-ending
event.
disaster.
And there's different levels of ChimpCon. It would go between ChimpCon 5 and ChimpCon 1. I
The
forget which
Chimp-Con
was
one is
the
most
worst.
dangerous.
1 is the most dangerous?
And of course, there's also Chimp-Con 0, which is above Chimp-Con 1. And
Didn't
that
even
is
know
when
that.
that's when it's all over.
And then they would show me pictures of people's arsenals of weaponry, and they're like, gotta be prepared
Bunker.
for the random chimp event. And here's their argument for why it's real is because they say the chances may be low, but they're never zero. Which
True.
is it true?
Yes.
I cannot say for certain that the chances are
A
zero.
chimp definitely like pick up and pull the trigger. And that's all you need. That's a random chimp event.
But
Yep. That's what a random chimp event would look like if they were like calm. Okay? Planet of the Apes is
that's
like a
wild.
neutered random chimp event. A random chimp event is so much more dangerous.
That's
Bugs.
actually
Specifically
crazy.
a bug's life.
A Bug's Life. I personally want to put it in S tier. Getting back on track.
Yeah.
I think it's an S tier movie, personally. Or at top of the A tier minimum. Where do you think it should go?
Movie. Oh, and the spider.
What?
The spider.
What about the spider?
I don't like her either.
What's wrong with the spider?
I don't like her. But yeah,
That's
Bugs Life. S tier.
S tier. Okay, S tier, S tier, S tier. Next, we have Toy Story 2. I'll come out and say it. I think it's better than Toy Story 1. I actually prefer Toy Story 2.
Jeremiah, you good? You seem to be cutting out a bit.
I think you are too. I do have a
No, it's
storm
definitely
passing
your
through.
fault.
Maybe. There is a storm passing through, so pardon any interruptions in the audio.
That's definitely
Though the capturing of the audio is not going to change on my end.
better than the original. Toy Story 2 is better than the original.
Okay, so you agree with me. You agree with me.
And it introduces uh what's her name?
Jesse introduces Jesse,
Jasmine,
Bullseye,
that's a great character.
the
And of course Big
prospector.
Al.
Big
Big Al.
Al made a special appearance last episode. Go check out episode 5, Menacing Mascots, Al of Al's Toy Barn.
Big Al was there. The chicken. Himself. The man.
He was.
Greatest villain in all of cinema, honestly.
I disagree with that 100%, but point still stands. Toy Story 2 honestly just builds upon all of the ideas of Toy Story 1 and adds like a very real thing. Instead of a toy being lost, it is a toy being stolen. And it's the most important, arguably, character. So everyone is trying to work to get him back. And they encounter another human that is trying to keep Woody. They encounter other toys. The first time that they have antagonistic toys towards them. I'm not really counting Sid's monstrosities,
In
but
the end, the Sid and Strong Seas did actually side with them.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
Toy
yeah.
Story 2, you actually have like a converse, almost like a foil of Toy Story 1, wherein instead of trying to get Buzz back, you're trying to get Woody back.
Hmm.
And Woody wanted to keep Buzz away, but this time Buzz is coming out to help Woody in his time of need. So you see that they definitely changed their tones toward each other.
And
And it's nice to see that.
Woody didn't even want to go at first.
Yeah, Woody literally smacked him out of a window with a lamp.
Well, I'm talking about Toy Story 2. Woody didn't leave with them when they came to rescue him at first.
Yeah, he got sidetracked by a life of fame and sitting in a box. Collector's edition. I don't I don't know. I don't like that whole collecting thing, collecting toys thing. That's just a weird
Yeah,
hobby.
because for me, the whole point is like, if you're gonna have it, why would you not use it? You know?
Yeah, but whatever. That's some moral dilemma, I guess. Toy Story 2, S tier. It's so good.
You think it's S tier?
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's quite S tier. I don't think it's on the same level as some of these other ones.
I'd say it's better than Bug's Life. I would sooner watch Toy Story 2 than Bug's Life.
Okay, then how about we move A Bug's Life down to A tier?
All right, if that's the whoa, sorry. If that's how we're gonna do it, then let's do it.
Yeah, we'll put Toy Story 2, then A Bug's Life, then Toy Story 1.
Okay, so we've just raised the bar, I guess.
Yeah, because I really think that Toy Story 2 is not S tier, and Bug's Life being S tier is my personal. I know that it's not completely unbiased in the saying that, you know.
Bug's Life
But
is good, but I don't think it's as good as you're making it out to be.
yeah, I did that is other than one other one on this list, A Bug's Life is my second most watched Pixar movie. I've probably seen it at over 20 times.
Yeah,
Now,
I already know which most watch this.
a lot of you listening may be like, "Whoa, you watched one of these on here more than 20 times?" Oh, yes, I did. And you'll find out. Take your guesses in the comments which one it is. But anyways, we figured out that. Now let's move on to Monsters Inc. I'm actually curious as to what you have to think about this movie.
Um, I like it. I definitely do like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Actually, it's solid.
I would agree. It is solid. Pretty funny. I think it's probably
It has some
one.
good humor.
It's one of the more comedic Pixar movies, I'd say.
Yeah, but it still has like depth and gravity to it.
It
Like it's
does.
it's a child's life on the line.
Yeah. Is the child's life ever in danger? Technically,
Well, the spider was planning on using some sort of machine to suck out her screaming.
but would that kill her?
I don't know. It was like a prototype.
That is
A lot of bad things can happen with prototype machines that are designed to create infinite power.
yeah, especially since they never work. But
That's true.
okay, you're not wrong. There, I would agree. There's gravity depth. I think there's just compared to some of the other ones on the list, there's more gravity and depth. I'd argue.
Yeah,
Um,
this is a lot more serious in terms of like what's at stake here. But at the same time, Mike Wazowski.
Ike Wazowski. They do have some iconic characters.
Yeah, Mike Wazowski is the best character in the movie. He's just fantastic.
I agree. I agree.
I'll put it at
Um,
B tier
I'll put it at B tier too. I was thinking the same thing.
because there are better films, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Like all of these older ones are just fantastic.
Honestly, yeah. Just putting that out there for all you listeners. I think everything up until honestly Inside Out is pretty in terms of chronology. They're pretty decent. After that, it's hit or miss. But before then, most of them were. I would agree they're good, except for maybe a couple exceptions. Speaking of an exception, Finding Nemo, hot take. I don't like it.
I can't agree with that. That is a hot take because I'm against it.
Okay, just because you're against it doesn't make it a hot take. But don't
I
worry,
love Finding Nemo.
pretty much everyone I've ever talked to says that that's a hot take. I don't see
Yeah,
the
Finding
redeeming
Nemo is
qualities of the
gold.
movie.
Number one, Australia.
They don't actually. I guess technically
Careful.
there are Australian people in the movie.
That's because they go to Sydney
I know they go to Sydney, and I was trying to
and they
like
live
say,
in the Great Barrier Reef.
do they actually see the Great Barrier Reef though?
Yeah, that's where they live, isn't it?
Huh? They don't live in the Australian surrounding ocean, do they? Where
Pretty
the
sure they
movie
do.
starts? They
Yeah, I
live
think they live in the
by.
Great Barrier Reef.
Really? Okay, I never
Yeah,
thought about it
because
like that.
in Finding Dory, they go all the way to California, and that's like a journey and a half.
You can say that again. Australia to
Yeah, they go
California.
all the way to
It's no joke.
California, and that's a journey and a half.
It definitely would be. Okay, I'm just saying. I think the plot is mid,
A father trying to find his son.
but the whole point is like he did a very obviously stupid thing, and when he like gets caught, and then he makes friends in the tank, like I understand. Okay, that would be awful if I said like, well, what's the worst that happens? Oh, he lives in a fish tank. I understand that, but because obviously he just lost his father, and his father's trying to
Darby.
find.
Darby is the worst thing that can happen. Or Darcy, whatever it is.
Yeah, and honestly, kudos to Marlon for enduring everything that he endured and actually being able to find his son in a fish. Like, that is no easy feat, you know? Truly, that is no easy feat. Especially with a short-term memory loss partner.
Hey, Dory came in clutch quite a few times,
Mm,
considering
okay,
she was the only one that could read.
I'll be honest. Where is the lowest you'll put this?
The lowest I'll put it is B tier. I can't go lower than that. It's not possible.
Because I want to put it in D tier.
I'm going for A tier.
A tier?
Yeah, A tier.
Bottom of A tier?
We'll go bottom of A tier just to satiate your
I mean, I
bloodlust.
would definitely put it below Monsters Inc.
I wouldn't. It's better than
That's
Monsters Inc. It's better than Toy Story. And it's probably better than Bugs Life too.
it is not.
I don't know about Toy Story 2 though. Toy
It
Story 2
is
is probably
not
better.
better than A Bug's Life. It's not better
It's
than
gotta
any of
be.
these.
It's so good.
Okay, here's a
Not to
question.
mention, just the whole animation part of it is exceptional. They gave a fish a receding hairline.
that's that's funny. Here's the thing though. Who do you think is the best character of the movie?
Um, Probably Gil.
Gil. What?
Yeah,
That's not at all what I expected.
he's a revolutionary leader trying to stage an escape. Legendary.
I don't know if he counts as a revolutionary.
He counts as revolutionary in my book.
I would say probably the best character is either Bruce or Crusher, but
Crush is good.
oh,
Bruce.
is it
Bruce is
just
nice.
Crush?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
just
just
Crush.
okay? Yeah, Crush. They're both, but that's because like those are the funny characters, right? Like those are the funny parts of the movie.
Bruce tries to eat them.
But he acts funny because it's a shark stereotype, and then they blow up. Not that the
Then
blowing up is
there's
funny, but
Bruce.
there is blow ups. Like there are mines.
Oh yeah,
That's
get
another
some of that
question.
blood too.
Well, if they live off the coast of Australia, why is there mines?
Because the Japanese fought the Americans near Australia.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. Needed
We're
that
talking
word
Lady
trivia.
Gulf, Coral Sea. Uh, Man, I just forgot all of the battles that happened.
It's okay. It's
That's
okay.
crazy. But yeah, Australia, the coast of Australia. Well, not that like the coast, but like the surrounding waters of Australia were like a hot spot for naval conflict.
They didn't actually attack the mainland, did they? Like they didn't actually fight
No,
on.
no, but they did get like the Solomons, Papua New Guinea, and like really close islands.
Wow, they got that close.
Yeah, they got pretty close. But Bruce is Australian, so checkmate.
A lot of, some of the characters are, not all of them. Definitely not all of
No,
them.
not all of them, just some of them, because I don't think American viewers could handle that many Australian accents,
It
or
definitely
anybody really.
it did enhance the movie. It did enhance the movie.
Enhance. Yeah, A tier. Put it at bottom just because apparently you don't like
I
it.
would, just for the record, I put it in D tier. I know you all can argue
Nobody wants to
with
hear
me.
that from you.
I
Nobody wants
know.
to hear Finding Nemo being put in D tier.
It's just not that entertaining to me. And
To
I don't
you, to
think that
you.
I don't think that it's that funny. I don't think like there's just so many different ways that the movie could have gone, you
That's
know?
enough out of you. Go talk about the next one. I know you want to.
Oh yes, shall we get a drum roll, everyone, for the greatest Pixar movie of all time? We're actually probably gonna have to make a separate tier because it's so good. Um, go on, drum roll.
I can't. What do you want me to do?
play the drums and do a roll?
I don't have drums, and I'm not gonna roll. What?
The Incredibles. Yes, you heard us right. I mean me right. I'm adding a row
You're
above
adding one?
the S tier, and I'm calling it the
You're gonna
I
call it the
tier,
Incredible?
the I tier for Incredibles, because it is just a league above everything else in terms of Pixar movies. In the music, in the style of the movie, in the writing of the movie, in the iconic characters of the movie, in the memes of the movie, the villain of the movie, the ending of the movie. Everything, it's just so good. Truly. I mean, look at that poster. Look at that poster right there. Look at that style. Honestly,
What if they're listening on Spotify? They can't see anything.
my apologize. My apologies for the Spotify listeners. However, what I will tell you, if you're on Spotify right now, search up "Incredible Soundtrack" and listen to the whole thing because you can, and it's amazing. If any of you were guessing, this is the correct guess. I've seen Incredibles easily 50 times. I'll put it on as background noise to do work too. Sometimes
Actually,
I've
was
fallen asleep to
did
it.
you didn't you watch a version of it where they replaced all the characters with just Sonic the Hedgehog's voice?
There was a meme video I found. It was very weird and very funny. I don't know if it's still there, but there was a YouTube video I saw that got recommended to me because I there. Okay, here's another fun fact. During uh the lockdown, me and Nick obviously we didn't see each other at school, so we would play a lot of games online, and we had a thing in our Discord server that would allow us to play YouTube video audio in the call while we're talking to each other, and they just had the full Incredibles movie on YouTube. Like someone put it on there. I don't think it was a legal version, and I think like the pictures might
Pretty
have been
sure
like cropped and stuff, but the audio was fine. And
Pretty sure the description of the video said like watch it now before it gets taken down. This is straight up piracy.
yeah, uh, me and Nick, I know Nick and me listened to it at least once,
I think it
probably
was
multiple,
twice.
probably twice, honestly. I know the script of this movie very well. At least
Yeah, I can
the
probably quote the whole thing too.
yeah,
I've seen it a lot too.
it's just so good. There's funny moments. The plot is not just for kids. There's a kids plot, obviously, like stop the bad guy, but then there's even like a more mature themes for adults, like oh
Yeah,
no,
their marriage is at risk.
their marriage is at risk. Mr. Incredible, what are you doing? You gotta get your act together. Why are you
Trying to
lying to your wife?
relive the glory days when he
Relive the
was having his youth.
exactly. The villain, easily, I think the best Pixar villain, hands down. Um,
Syndrome, really?
Syndrome. I can. What is a better Pixar villain? I mean, I don't even think there's many villains in Pixar movies, honestly. But Syndrome is just one of like the best villains in terms of motive and writing. Like he just wanted to be Mr. Incredible's sidekick, and Mr. Incredible says, "No, I work alone." He doesn't, he probably could have done it a little bit smoother, a little bit more gentle to let him down because
By that
obviously
point, Mr. Incredible, he thought he was like above everybody else, and that he was like the end all be all, and he didn't want to share his glory with anybody.
I don't know if that's implied in the movie. That's definitely not stated.
No, no,
Um,
no, that's definitely his attitude.
he definitely had a little bit of pride. I don't think
Little
that's
bit.
deniable. But he did shut down the kid completely. But then the kid finds out, no, I am talented. And once I give everyone the ability to be superpowered, then
Yeah,
it
he
takes
became an arms
away
dealer.
the specialty that you are, Mr. Incredible. And now everyone's super, so then no one is. And wow, what a great line as well. Because once he gives everyone the ability to be superpowered, then he gets to control how people live their lives. He very certainly was dealing. armaments to the governments of the world, even though that's definitely not in the movie, but he definitely was
No, it
doing that.
is. It was literally explained that's how he got his money from arms dealing. How do you
That's
think he
how.
built like a giant volcano resort? He explained it in his monologue that Mr. Incredible caught him in.
But it doesn't specifically say that he's dealing to world governments, does it? I'm pretty sure he's just
Well,
like selling it, the tech. I think he just says he's selling the tech, but he saves the most powerful stuff because obviously
yeah,
he
he
wants
was an
to.
arms dealer, but he kept the good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Just
uh,
like any arms dealer.
honestly, sort of a Tony Stark vibe, but not as charismatic at all. Uh,
I mean, the plot of Iron Man 3 is like the exact same.
Tony Stark's not married though. He doesn't have
Yeah, he is.
children.
Yeah, he does.
Not
Well, he's dead.
not at Iron Man 3.
No, not at Iron Man 3.
Whoa, spoilers!
If you
Spoilers!
haven't seen Endgame yet, then are you even
I've not seen
existing?
Endgame.
You haven't seen Endgame?
Not all the way through, no.
Oh, well, Tony Stark dies and Thanos gets defeated.
Wow, that's crazy. I've
There you
seen
go.
that scene
Everybody
a bunch.
do that.
But anyways,
Everybody,
bottom line,
whatever.
you can pick any character, great character. You can pick pretty much any scene, and the scene either has some funny part to it, is very relatable. Even though they're like a group of superheroes, they're still having, everyday struggles. There was even a scene where the kids are fighting at the dinner table, and then when Frozone comes over, shout out to Frozone,
Best
super
character.
best character, honestly. He comes over, and then everyone's like, "Oh, we gotta get right back in place, act like nothing was going on." And then Dash spits out the water, and Frozone freezes it, and he's like, "Ah, I like it better when it shatters," because he wants to see a mess on the ground. And then they go bowling, but it's not really
Why don't you
bowling. They're
just why don't you just take the rest of the episode and we can just quote the entire movie?
ah, uh, that'd be fun, wouldn't
Yeah, just pull up a screenplay and go through it all.
it? No, we have a majority of the Pixar movies left to make a tier list.
Yeah, we gotta speed this up a bit.
Okay, Incredibles I tier, obviously. Um, Nick, I don't think you disagree, but even if you do, you're wrong. Um,
No, I don't disagree. I love The Incredibles.
okay, okay.
I've seen it maybe the same amount as you.
Do you think that is the best Pixar movie?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay. Then at least we can agree on that. That's fine. All right, we do have to move on. Unfortunately, it's not like I want to, but
Yeah, but there's still absolute bangers on this list to talk about.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Um,
Speaking of which, we got Cars.
yeah, it's a pretty average. Um, it is definitely unique. Um, there are some funny memes. It is pretty funny with Tow Mater. They have a lot of
The
very cool
soundtrack's amazing.
references. The
The soundtrack is
soundtrack,
fantastic for this film.
it's okay. I
It's better than okay. It's great. It's fantastic.
here's a question. Why do the cars have teeth, Nick? Can you answer me that?
So they can
For,
eat.
for those of you listening, why do the cars have teeth? I bet you
So
never
they can
thought about
eat.
that before.
So they can eat.
The cars don't eat, Nick. They eat gas, and that's
Yeah, they drink it
done through the
through
gas
their mouth.
tank.
No, they
No.
drink. They drink it through their mouth. They literally do.
Why do I have
You can
teeth?
see them like sucking on gas at the gas station. Teeth,
Doesn't.
so they can talk, so they can form words.
I'm just pulling your tire, you know.
Okay, don't say that again. And the best part about cars is
No, I was
the
trying to make a
memes about
cars
how the world
joke.
works.
Just trying to
Because
make
they've
a
got military vehicles, they've got uh, the Pope. So you
wait.
already know
What?
that they've been to war.
The
Yeah,
Pope?
Cars 2 has the Pope in it.
What?
Yeah, the car Pope.
I do not remember that.
And canonically, World War II did happen.
Oh yeah, there's a World War II bomber in Planes, and Planes is in the Cars universe.
Not just a bomber. There's like Corsairs, F4Us. Like it's actually a scene where you see a flight of corsairs descending upon a bunch of Japanese warships. In the Cars universe, World War II has happened, and there is religion as the car pope exists.
Yes. It. I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. Um.
It's a great movie.
So where do you
I'll
want
put
to
it.
put it?
I'll put it B tier, above Monsters Inc. though.
It's wild. I would put it below that. I'd probably put it C tier. Pretty
Oh, and
C
we
for
forgot to mention the best part is
C for
cargo
cars.
fast.
Gotta go fast.
Something about the male urge to see cars go fast or to drive car fast.
Ciao.
Ciao. Our Chick Hicks, best character. Okay,
Anyways,
cars. Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. I think we know where this goes.
S tier.
S tier.
I love Ratatouille.
It's. I'll be honest. I had another hot take up until probably about last year where I thought Ratatouille was a bad movie, and then I watched it one time after that, and I was like, you know what? It's actually not that bad. It's pretty good. And then
Fantastic.
I realized how the plot is super unique, very interesting way to have a antagonism to the main character, like a guy trying to get rats out of the kitchen, but also at the same time trying to take over the restaurant by eliminating the offspring of Chef Gusto. Very interesting. Very interesting.
There's a bit more to it than at the surface.
Yeah, yeah. Especially
The
the
only
beginning.
problem I have with it is it's in France.
Wow. It has to be.
Shout out to all my French viewers. I don't like you. Watch someone else.
What is your problem?
I will never forgive France for existing.
That's wild.
But French
I
food is pretty good.
I do not carry those sentiments. I welcome the French viewers.
Yeah, and the problem with Canada is half of the population is French, and the other half of the population has no problem with it.
What is Okay, buddy. That's enough out of you.
I'm getting a bit geopolitical here. My bad. Just something about France.
Speaking of geopolitics, Wally.
No, this
That
is exopolitics, man.
Well, they kind of it has to do with Earth a little bit.
The plot of the movie takes place away from Earth. Earth is like the side character of this movie.
There isn't a lot of characters in this movie, is there? There's like what? Wally, Eve, the captain, and the
Mo,
wheel.
the captain, Wheel, and then those two fat people that get together.
Oh yeah.
Was it like Bob or something?
I don't
I
remember
can't
their
remember.
names.
And the cockroach. Don't forget the cockroach.
Oh yeah, the cockroach.
Yeah, there's not a lot of characters. But the characters that are there don't even speak. So it's kind of interesting because you don't hear any kind of like dialogue between Wally or Eve. It's just like you have to piece it together from how they act towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow Wally is able to create facial expressions with just like two cameras for eyes. So it's kind of
Yeah,
it's definitely a unique movie.
it's more atmospheric.
Yeah, you kind of just you're on for a ride. You're not like invested in a story or anything until all of a sudden plant go Earth, don't go Earth, Earth bad. Instead, you're just like watching a spectacle basically, as if you're hiking through the woods and just taking in the sights.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Now, Wall-E for me was another one of those Pixar movies where I did not really like when I was younger, and then I watched it again when I'm older, and I like atmospheric space type thing, so I liked it a lot more. I just have a problem with the ending. Like, for one, I don't completely like how like the whole ending went where like how could the okay, I know it's not completely unreasonable to think that all the humans just became disinterested with Earth, but at the same time, the very ending where Wally has to like get rid of his memory, but then they just like give it back to him somehow. Like he was supposed to lose it, and then all of a sudden he can just get it back, even though the
Yeah, it seems
piece
kind of cheap.
it was kind of cheap at the end. It made it it made the ending a lot less meaningful to me, honestly, which isn't that big of a deal because again, it's not really for the whole story. I feel like it's more for the atmosphere.
It is a kids' film, and I don't think they could handle with their hero just suddenly becoming a mindless drone. That's a bit much for children. Because again, these
Yeah,
are kids' movies, but we're kind of piecing them apart as if they're made for 20-year-old people. But Wally, it's pretty good. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. I put it at B tier.
I think that is a safe assumption. Yes, I'd say middle.
Yeah.
Bottom. Uh,
Bottom? Middle?
I'll say bottom. I would rather watch Monsters Inc. than Wally.
Fair.
Okay, next. Now this next movie is very polarizing. Most people either say it is the best Pixar movie or they say like this is completely boring. Um, Up does have a lot of iconic moments, definitely iconic characters. I personally, I I don't see the drive and the plot as much.
It's all right. It's just all right.
Yeah,
I'd
I
put it
think
C
it.
tier.
I
There's not much
agree.
to say about it.
There's not much to say about it. It's very iconic. It's very unique, and it's very like I appreciate it being unique. There are some less unique ones that have better plot, um, but at the same time, like there's just it's hard to have like meaningful dialogue between like a deaf old man and a young boy scout. Like half the
And then the
time.
dog
Oh yeah, the dog. Yeah,
in the beginning just like rips your heart apart. So that's not a great place to start.
it's very sad.
But yeah, up. It's all right. I look on it fondly, but not. It's not great.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I look at it fondly, but I don't choose to watch it.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay,
Toy Story 3.
another one.
I'll be honest again. I think it's the best Toy Story. I think that's
Yeah,
also a hot take, but I love
I
it
don't
a
know if
lot.
it's the best, but it's still good. Like it's hard to have 3 movies in a series and all of them still be good.
I think it's good. I
And
think it's pretty good.
introducing children to tyranny is fantastic. You know,
I'll be
'cause
completely
Lotso
honest.
Lotso was totally a dictator.
Oh, for
There's no
sure.
way around it.
They literally had torture chamber for Buzz. Like
Yeah, they
they took him to the
they
timeout
created a
room.
torture chamber for him. Not to mention there was class divide too.
Yeah, there was the
The
younger
caterpillar room
children's and the
and the butterfly
caterpillar
room.
room and the butterfly room. It was so polarizing. And honestly, I this is probably the Pixar movie that has made me laugh the most. Like,
Really?
yeah, I think it's hilarious. All of the Mr. Potato Head jokes, plus when Buzz turns into Spanish Buzz, and the whole Barbie and Ken sequence. I find it hilarious.
I do like the memes about um Barbie like fighting the 501st Legion for Star Wars or the
What?
212th Attack Battalion. Yeah, you've seen the memes
I've
where
not.
she's going through her outfit list and she just pulls out like a clone trooper outfit,
What?
or she'll pull out a suit of armor. Like I participated in the Third Crusade.
I have never seen that before, but that sounds funny.
Fantastic. The Toy Story 3 it's great. It's not at Toy Story 2 level for me though.
Honestly, for me, I think Toy Story 2 is a better movie, but Toy Story 3 is. I said I think Toy Story 3 is the best in terms of my enjoyment. I meant in terms of enjoyment. Best movie I think is Toy Story 2, but in terms of enjoyment, I like Toy Story 3 the most to watch. Um, I'm fine with putting it at like the top of B tier, honestly, or bottom of A.
Put a bottom of A.
Yeah,
Because it's good. It's good.
it is good. It is good.
And it's like the most major advance in the plot for the first three movies. Because
Yeah.
like Andy's off in college now, so they're under new ownership. So
Moving
it's
on.
a big one. But yes, we come across another sequel.
Cars 2.
Not as good as the first one.
I disagree. I think Cars 2 is the best car. I think it is funny. It is so funny. There is terrorism in the movie. There is
There's
Tokyo
terrorists.
Drift
This
in
is
the
where
movie.
Carpope is.
There is pistachio ice cream.
Subterfuge.
Like Mater in Tokyo is just funny. It's just so funny.
I I don't like it as much as the first
Plus
one.
spies. Like now I
Yeah,
understand like
that's the part that I
I
don't
understand. I understand.
I
I
don't get it. Why is Mater all of a sudden equipped with miniguns? Why?
because he's a spy, international spy.
No, he's not. He
I
just kind of
know.
stumbled into something that he shouldn't be a part of.
I know. Cars 1 has a real plot. Cars 2 is 100% a joke movie. And it
It's
does it.
like
I think it's
how
funny.
many gags can we fit into a movie about cars? It's
Or
like
kill
completely
or
detached from what
deaths.
the first
A
one was
lot of
all
cars
about.
blow up in this movie.
Like the race that is like the driving force for the first movie. Like he's preparing for the Piston Cup. He's got to find a way out of this small town that's keeping him restrained. It's like a side story now. Like it's all about
Yeah.
Mater trying to stop terrorists from killing figureheads. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
It doesn't make that much sense. I still think it's funny,
And
but
the kill
obviously
count is ridiculous. Do you
it
know how
has
many
a
cars die in this film?
like 50?
Oh yeah, there's like a ton of deaths. Like that entire oil rig sequence with like
Oh yeah,
the British fly,
the very
that's got
beginning.
to be at least 20 casualties right there. Not to mention
They
they
blew it up,
nuke
man.
a destroyer. A Royal Navy destroyer gets just absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, that's some pretty out of pocket wild things.
Yeah, it's just too ridiculous. I can't put it at the same level of Cars 1.
I'd put it C tier above up.
Yeah. Because in the end, it is still more enjoyable to watch than Up.
I agree. I agree. That's why I put it. Okay. Next we have Brave.
I
All
like
right.
Brave.
What? Oh my no! I thought this was gonna be easy D tier.
No. It's actually got a very good story.
I don't disagree, but it's just not entertaining. Like it tells a story, but just in a not exciting way.
That is true. And I don't understand why Meredith is way better at archery than anybody else that exists.
Some
It
people
it
just
just
got
it doesn't make sense.
the talent for it. You know.
Talente.
Where would you put it then? Because I would put it in D tier, but if you don't want it in D tier, then
I put it at bottom of B tier probably.
really, you think it's not as
Yeah.
good as Wally
It,
or
its greatest strength is its story. And its
yeah,
story is really good.
yeah. I think B tier, each of the B tiers, like they do something really good, but they may lack in a little bit of some of the other areas.
Yeah.
I guess A tier like that too. Um, you don't see the I tier lacking.
I tier has everything it needs.
Yes, sir.
It's just incredible.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Yeah, it wasn't very clever,
Just
but
for the sake of the audience listening at home, when he said get it like incredible, I
you don't need
tier
to
the
explain
movie
the
is The
joke.
Incredibles
Please
because
don't.
the it's funny though.
It's not funny. And the more times you do it, the less funny it
I
becomes.
think it gets more funny actually.
Are you
I
talking about
wouldn't.
like post-ironic humor?
I think it's unironically funny.
No, it's
I
not. The only way it would be funny is if it becomes so ironic, it becomes funny again.
think that'll happen eventually.
Yeah, maybe episode 50.
All right, we'll take a count again. Anyways,
Yeah. One
moving on.
episode a week, 350 days from now, like a year later, it'll be funny.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, Monsters University.
Another sequel.
Yes, I think it is better than the original.
I disagree.
Really, you don't
Yeah.
like it as much.
Yeah, they kind of threw away most of what made the first one good in the place of cheap laughs for children, which is probably the right thing to do since it is a children's film, like all of these are.
Yeah, I guess that I don't I can't completely disagree with you. I think I'm a sucker for world building. So when it goes and expands a lot of aspects about the Monsters Inc. universe, which technically I guess all the Pixar movies are linked, but when it expands specifically about the Monsters Inc. part of the universe, like I like that a lot because I like to learn about how people come up with and build different worlds. So honestly, that's why I think it's better. I don't think it's much better by any means. I think it's still a B tier movie. Um, but
Yeah,
I guess it's just about where in B tier.
I was thinking C tier actually.
Right. I'm not completely opposed to that. I put it at the top of C tier.
That's fair.
Oh, ho, ho. Inside Out.
Oh, we're getting to the dregs.
I I think it's the bottom of C tier. I don't want to put it lower because I really don't think it's completely terrible, but I don't understand the plot very much. Um, and I feel like it's a little disconnected with
It just
like
seems inconsistent with its own principles.
yeah, I think it's a little inconsistent and for me hard to follow, which you may say like, well, how's a children's movie hard to follow? Well, sometimes children's movies don't think everything through. Um, and I'm not saying they didn't do that. I'm just saying for me personally, it's a little bit hard to follow. And it's not to me, it's not that funny. And the visuals are I think that they did the visuals pretty good, but the music I don't really remember that much. I think it's just all around bottom of C tier, but I don't think it's the D tier level because there's some D tiers and F tiers coming up. But
Yeah, the only reason it would be at C tier is because there's just worse movies, like way worse.
I mean that is the point of a tier list. Rank it in comparison to the others. Like how would I like everything in C tier? Would I watch it? Yes. Like anything in D and F tier, I never want to watch again. Okay. Anything we put down there, I don't want to watch again. C tier, I would watch them again because either it's funny, I like the world building, I think the visuals are pretty cool, and if someone else wanted to watch it, it wouldn't be completely out of my wants to do that. However, I think A S and I tier are always like I will all except Nemo because I don't think it belongs there. But those I always would love to watch. I can
Yeah, those
attend,
are the films where if you see it on a TV somewhere, you just want to stop and watch it.
and even if so,
Like
like
I have seen Nemo playing on a TV and just be like, you know what? It's time to watch it.
That okay, I would never do that. But I have been to places where someone puts on a movie and they're like, "Oh, let's watch Ratatouille," and I think to myself, that's great. And then I tell them, "Hey, put on The Incredibles because because
No,
it's better."
no, you gotta have variety. You can't just keep watching The Incredibles over and over again.
I do, and I have, and I can, and I will.
I have
Hey,
watched The Incredibles multiple times in one day, though.
we'll put it on multiple times a day in the dorm room.
Yeah, we're rooting together for the next year, so we're just gonna have Incredibles playing on loop 24/7.
Yes, indeed.
You walk in, you hear, "I'm
Da, da,
Syndrome,
da.
your nemesis."
Me when I've
Okay,
got time, I've got time.
bro, that's like me when I have time.
When I have time, I've still got time.
When I got time.
One of my favorite memes of all time.
When
Also,
you have
Mr.
time?
Incredible becoming uncanny. Another one of
Oh my
the
goodness,
best
so good.
memes.
Well,
Anyways,
Mr.
anyways,
Incredible becoming.
we're going to
We're getting off
we're
track. We're
going
going back to The Incredibles.
back to the Incredibles. Sorry, it's too strong.
It's incredible.
Incredible indeed.
Okay,
Good dinosaur.
I haven't seen it.
It is F tier. Uh, there's barely any talking. For some reason, the dinosaur is smarter than the human. Um, they get high at one point.
Oh, well, that
Uh,
automatically makes it D tier.
what? No, they go on some psychedelic trip because they eat something.
Yeah, that's D tier. I love that.
Okay, it's
I haven't seen it before. Okay, I can't judge it, but I'm just hearing like psychedelic trip, and I'm like
it's
peaked.
for the sake of only putting like two things in F tier, because I think there's more than one F tier. I'll put it in D tier. Um,
No, we can keep it an F tier. I haven't seen it, so we're going off of
okay,
what you
because
think.
I never want to watch it again under any circumstances. It was just
That sounds like F tier to me.
it was just bad. Uh, yeah. In case you were wondering, it's like the dinosaurs. They're farmers, and then they find a human, and the young dinosaur and the human go on like adventure, but they have to survive and they work together. But the human is not as smart as the dinosaur because it apparently is like not sentient. It's almost like the roles are reversed. Like the dinosaur is sentient and the person
That
isn't.
sounds dumb.
Oh yeah, it is. It 100% is. Anyways, I don't want to
You're
talk
literally
about
the
that
guy
too.
who always, whenever he watches like Avatar, he's just waiting for the time where the movie's script changes and the humans win.
Wow.
Humanity first, baby.
Anyways, moving on. Finding Dory. I think
Probably
it's
D
a
tier.
yeah, it's a D tier. I still never want to watch it
Nowhere as
again,
good as the first.
but it's just not a good movie. It's just not. Um, I know what they were trying to do. Put a spin on it. Oh no, we gotta go. Listen, of all the sequels on here, it's probably worst sequel. Just like Cars 3, which is the next one. Cars 3 is also D tier.
I
It's
have
just
actually seen part of Cars 3. I haven't seen the full thing though. So I
it's
do kind of get the plot
it's
and
a
what it's
worse
about.
Cars 1.
And I don't like my Lightning McQueen getting shafted like that.
Yeah, it was kind of it's just a worse Cars 1 in my opinion. Cars 2 is its own league.
Yeah, Cars
Cars
2 is like a spin-off, more like an actual film.
yeah, Cars 3 eh not it.
It's not it.
Coco on the other hand,
I like Coco.
I also like Coco. I think it
Mexico is chill with me. France, no.
why do you have to that has nothing to do with it. Anyways, um I would put this in A tier, honestly. I love the music and I love
I was
this
thinking
the
A
world
tier
building.
too.
I would put it top of A tier, honestly.
Yeah, it's got a good plot twist at the end. Like I didn't even see it coming.
Okay, I saw the plot twist coming a mile away, but that didn't
I
make
wasn't
me.
really paying attention though.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I could see it coming, and I was like, oh, this guy is probably actually his dad. Now I didn't expect the villain to literally like kill the guy. I didn't expect that coming, but
Yeah, let's just trap him in the realm of death for a bit. That's
yeah,
cool.
I did not expect that. But I do like I love the music. I love the world building, and I like the characters and how they actually progress and how they portray um the afterlife in that culture and how they portray it. It's actually really cool. Um, especially like
I like
how the
that.
guy just has like an ongoing party. It was funny.
Like, is that just a permanent event?
I think so. Yeah,
That's got to get exhausting. Do they get exhausted? They're
they're
skeletons.
skeletons. So
They do seem to like lose energy though. I don't know. It's
really,
weird. Afterlife stuff is weird. Yeah, because like Hector, when he gets thrown into the pit, he just like he just seems like he's tired now. It's weird.
I'm not quite sure
I
what
don't
you're
know.
referring to, but
I don't know what I'm referring to either. Let's just go to the next one.
okay. Next is The Incredibles 2. Um,
Not as good as the first one.
oh, oh man, biggest letdown on this entire list. When I first heard they were doing an Incredibles 2, I was like, finally we get Incredibles versus the Underminer. We've been waiting for it this whole time. They're getting the original voice actors. It's gonna be amazing. We went and saw it in theaters. What a letdown. First of all, no. I think it was really bad. They did a lot of things wrong. One of them, they did not make Underminer the main villain. Strike one.
I was excited for the Underminer.
So was I. I mean, he was in the movie. They fought him, but it wasn't
He was in
like,
the video game. He was a great boss fight.
yeah, big letdown there. Second letdown, the way that they did um the integration of superheroes into society, like it was almost like it was getting reversed again, but with not really any indication how it came to be that way. I understand it took place a little bit further in the future, but like I don't think the public's opinion would have changed that much. You know, like from the first movie, it went from, oh, superheroes literally will arrest you for doing stuff. Second movie, it's like, oh, Elastigirl, she gets her own bike, she has a brand, she's going off doing stuff. Doesn't make much sense to me. I have no problem with the fact that it was like it was Elastigirl doing it, because honestly, Mr. Incredible, it was like I loved the family aspect of the movie too. Like that part, I think it did okay, but the whole like ending sequence with like on the cruise ship, nah, not it. It's a real
It was
D
not
tier
convincing at all.
D tier movie.
The villain was lame, very
Yeah,
lame.
like
Nowhere
Syndrome
near
to
the
that.
level.
Like, come on.
Syndrome had a private military company,
You
and
can't
the
beat it.
villain in Incredibles 2 was just one chick that created some mind controlled goggles.
Like Syndrome could have beat her in a fight, obviously. Like Syndrome would
Easily.
take out
With
the
the
whole movie.
with the like freeze ray he's got, he can be anything. He just wasn't very smart about it because he was I think he had too much ego.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Incredibles 2 probably loses even more points just because it's not at the level of Incredibles.
yeah. It's like, yeah, I completely agree with that.
Like it's sporting a name it doesn't deserve.
Honestly,
So
honestly,
maybe C tier.
I put it at the bottom of D tier. That's
Oh,
I
I got to
really
give it a
don't
little
like.
bit of respect just for being The
Okay,
Incredibles.
okay. I put it that low. I'll put it at bottom of C. I just put it that low instinctively because it was such a letdown for me.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, just like this next movie, Toy Story 4, also a letdown.
I haven't seen it.
Um, I it's essentially they oh man, how can I forget? Oh yeah, so there's a new toy, the Sporky dude, Forky.
Oh, I
It was
think
like
I've seen him.
the handmade toy, and then he gets like lost or something because he doesn't. I think he actually like purposely goes away himself because he thinks he's not worth anything. But Woody wants to prove him wrong, so Woody separates himself again, and then in that process they find Bo Peep again, and they have to escape like a antique shop, which also has like a weird doll thing. Um, and then Woody and Bo Peep reunite, and they have like the stuntman, and then she's with like the carnival toys. It's just not the same. Like most of the original toys are not in the movie for very long. It's just not the same.
Okay. Where would you put it then?
Bottom of D tier.
All right.
Really not
I'll give
great.
it a
I don't want to watch it again.
go. It sounds. I don't know what it sounds like, really. I'll just trust what you say.
Yeah, it's. Eh.
'Cause I heard something about a stuntman and
There is a stuntman toy. It's kind of strange, but
oh, it's a toy. I thought it was just like a guy who did
no,
stunts.
no. There's a stunt toy. I forget his name.
Got Rod Kimball in there.
Duke something.
Duke Nukem.
Not Duke Nukem.
The titular protagonist of Duke Nukem.
No, it's like a. He looks like Evil Knievel.
Oh, so it is Rod Kimball.
Anyways,
Onwards.
onward. I think it's mid. I don't think it's
I
bad, but
haven't
I
seen
think
it.
it's mid.
I haven't seen it.
I think it's pretty mid. The the main. I think there's a very interesting and cool premise, but I think the way they go about it is real goofy. Like imagine they're going on a D&D campaign because they think they get a chance to like get their father back, but for the whole
Okay.
time it's
Why
just
don't they just cast Revivify?
they don't. No, it's not like that. Um, they have to get like a specific spell component or something, and so they go on
Oh,
a quest, a quote
one of
unquote
those
quest.
Dungeons and Dragons games.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. But they go on the quest, and they have to go to like all these different locations and do these different like quests to get to the place. And the whole time they have their father's legs, but not his top half, because when they tried to do it the first time, it only worked halfway. And then when
That's
they do
gruesome.
no, it's just like a flat surface. It's not gruesome.
Oh,
No,
so
the
you
legs
don't get
follow him
you
around.
don't see fleshy bits?
No, the legs follow him around.
Okay.
That's the
Are the
comedic
legs
aspect of the movie.
sentient? Wait, it's just are they the legs, are they like sentient?
Yeah, yeah, it's their father, but only his legs part.
Okay, so he's like there, but they can only see his legs.
Yeah, only the legs are there.
That's interesting.
How do the legs hear? I don't know. How do the legs see? I don't know. Um, but they do find they do get to see their dad at the end, but then he disappears again. So
Must be a low level cleric then.
I don't know if that's what they called it. I think they just used the term wizard as a blanket term, but honestly, I think it's pretty mid. I would put it at the bottom of B tier, honestly.
B tier. All right.
Yeah, it's not bad by any means. And it is pretty funny, but it's just not it's not as good in the plot as everything above it. It actually has a plot and a good story and a good plot. It's just I personally think it's a little um like they had some good opportunities, and I think they didn't take full advantage of it.
Okay.
So next,
Yes, this one I have seen, and I do like it. I did like it.
I
It
like
was
it a
good.
lot too. I
I
almost
definitely liked the setting with like the
oh for sure.
Harlem Renaissance kind of guy. I liked him, the main character. Great.
Joe,
That's the name, Joe.
I believe so. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah,
Um,
Joe Mama. Yeah,
No, what?
he's a pretty good main character.
If I'm being completely honest, I think this movie is S tier.
It probably is. It's like the best Pixar to come out in recent years. I'll put it at bottom of S tier because
Oh
it's
yeah,
not like one of the classics,
it's
but
not the classics, but
it's definitely really good.
yeah,
It's got a pretty good plot.
not pretty. I
Uh,
think it's a very good plot. The whole notion of like he wants to have a second chance, like he feels like he was wrongly deserved and taken out, so he wants a second chance, and he's fighting for the second chance. I mean, so he teams up with the rebellious soul.
Dead people. It's good. It's good,
It's really good, really good.
and it's jazzy,
Oh yeah, music and visuals are so good, just like Ratatouille.
just like Ratatouille. But at least it's not in France. It's in the good old USA.
Oh my, that's crazy. Anyways,
The next two I
Luca.
haven't seen, but I have seen plot summaries of them.
Okay, so all you need to
If
know
that's
is
anything to
Turning
watch.
Red is the bottom of F tier, absolute worst garbage to have come out from Pixar. Terrible
I
movie.
have heard that from multiple people that it's
It is
absolutely horrible,
terrible.
and I
I
have
will.
heard that Luca is like a gay fish movie.
Um, that is incorrect. I do not know who told you that, but I don't see where they got that from. They're not even fish. They're like mermen.
Merman
And
or fish?
okay, just let's just get Turning Red out of the way.
It
Basically,
lives in the water. It's a fish. I'm looking at you, dolphins.
that's wild. Um, I think that the idea really unique, trying to bring in another culture and bringing that to light. That part they did good, but the whole plot is just it's annoying. It is annoying to watch. Oh,
How annoying.
what? Do you say how annoying?
Yeah, how annoying is it?
You know how you feel when I play the duck song?
Yes.
Imagine if whenever I did that, it was unskippable, unmutable, and you were
Yeah,
forced to listen to it.
yeah, that'd be off. That'd be
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah. Imagine that feeling. I know
I'd
exactly
have
how
to
to
rupture
explain
my
it to
eardrums just to get out of that hell.
you. That's the way to explain it to you.
That sounds like an F tier movie right there.
It is. It really is.
Let's
One
throw it
of
in F
the
tier.
worst movies I've ever seen, in fact. I would easily go that far.
Wait, which one are we talking about?
Turning Red.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the gay fish movie. Okay, yeah.
No, no, I was still getting Turning Red out of the way. That's Turning Red. Luca is not that bad at all. I would say it's B tier. It's I do not prefer it over the rest of the movies, honestly, because I think the fact that the main characters are kids makes it like they're still kids, so they think like kids and they act like kids. So it's not, and the villain is
Okay.
not really a villain. It's just like the town doesn't like fish people. They think they're monsters. So they're just trying to be
If you
normal.
would prefer the other movies over it, then we gotta drop it somewhere lower.
I don't know. I'm talking about um okay. I prefer everything above it more in terms of if it was at bottom of B tier. I would watch because it's not a movie I would not watch again. Like everything in B tier and above, I would definitely watch again. C tier toss up, D and F tier no. Okay, honestly, I do think it's more of a toss up. I will say, music is very thematic and fitting. The art style, I think, is probably one of the best done Pixar films, if I'm being honest. And I like the setting, and they do a good job of setting up the story. But yeah, the plot is very weak. The characters are. I don't think they're weak characters, but like I said, because they're children. Not that
Children
I
are notoriously weak. They take extra bludgeoning damage.
not like that. I'm saying like in terms of the writing because they think like kids. So there can't be as complicated as I think the main drive of the movie is like they want to win a bicycle race. You know?
Really? That's
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay, that's C tier.
yeah, yeah. I would put it above up, but not above Cars 2.
Okay, a bicycle race.
Yeah, and
I
because
think
they
that's
want to
probably the most shallow plot. Wait, what's Turning Red's plot?
girl turns into raccoon.
I think that. Wait, that's it?
Yeah.
All right, even a bike race is better than that.
I don't care if there's anyone out there defending the movie and saying there's more plot to it than that. I'm sorry, you're wrong. Because guess
Girl turned
what?
into a
If she
raccoon.
doesn't turn into a raccoon, there is no plot. At least in Luca, if there was no bicycle race, there's still fishmen, so they can go in the ocean.
Yeah, they can reenact Finding Nemo.
Or they can explore how you herd seahorses, like they were doing at the beginning of the movie. Anyways.
What?
Yeah, they were like Luca is like a fish farmer person.
He's a shepherd?
Yeah, he's like a shepherd boy, but as a fish man.
A fish. So he's a fish shepherd.
Yeah. Well, he's a
That's
shepherd,
that's
a
definitely
fish,
something.
a
I
merman
don't know what it
shepherd of
is, but it's
fish.
something.
Anyways, that's besides the point. This is the definitive tier list. Um,
Objectively correct. There's nothing wrong with this list. It's all fact.
except
Everybody
Nemo
agrees on
should
it.
be lower.
Everybody agrees
Um,
on it 100%. It's
yeah,
nothing wrong, nothing misplaced. If you think otherwise, leave it in the comments, and then we'll tell you that you're wrong.
of course, of course. How about you give us the rundown of this week's
Nah, I gave it last
episode?
time.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. I'll give it. I'll give it. Get it because I was trying to um give co-host Nick a chance
Just
to.
read the just
Okay,
read the
okay,
list.
okay, okay. Uh, Here is our official Disney Pixar movies tier list. Except for the ones that we haven't seen. The newest one, Elemental, which came out last month, and Lightyear, which neither of us have gotten around to seeing. Honestly, I don't know when I will. Probably not, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
I'm not likely gonna see them. I'm
Yeah,
20 years old. It's time to move on.
yeah,
But
but
John Wick 4, that was really good.
didn't see that movie either. Not a big movie guy. But anyways, in the F tier, we have Turning Red and The Good Dinosaur. Honestly, I don't think there's any explanation necessary to those of you who've seen the movies. In the D tier, we have Toy Story 4, Cars 3, and Finding Dory. In the C tier, we have Incredibles 2, Inside Out, Up, Luca, Cars 2, and Monsters University. In the B tier, we have Onward, Brave, Wally, Monsters Inc., and Cars. In the A tier, we have Toy Story 3, Finding Nemo, Toy Story, A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, and Coco. In the S tier, we have Soul and Ratatouille. And last but certainly not least, in the incredible I tier, we have the greatest Pixar film of all time. And I do not see how they could ever top it The Incredibles.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Thank you all this week for tuning in to episode 6 of the S tier podcast. As always, I'm your co host, Jeremiah.
And I'm your other co-host, Nick. And this has been the S Tier Podcast.